Hi guys, how you doing? Hope wherever you are and whatever you've been up to, you've had a sensational day. Tonight we're talking on a really interesting topic of play, children's play. And it's a topic that we think, well, that's very normal, natural thing that children do. And of course something that we did when we were younger, if I can think back that far. For me anyway. But it's a normal, natural thing that children do. So why do we need to talk about it? Well, it sort of works out that there's a lot more to it. Play is actually a very important way for children to learn about their environment, their bodies, and just their place in the world around them. It's going to invite somebody into the conversation and see. Play actually helps children for their brain to develop in a healthy way. Not just that, but engaging in play provides your child with opportunities to develop a number of essential skills, and we'll be speaking about these later tonight, which is really exciting. Not just that, but there are actually a number of stages of play your child will move through when developing these skills. So on this very exciting topic, we're going to be talking tonight with Emma McKay, an occupational therapist from YouThrive. Hey, how you doing?
Hi, Rachel. I'm good. How are you? Can you hear
Oh,
me?
you're working.
Yay, finally.
Good. I said, trying to get this to work, but yay, I can speak to you and hear you.
We did it.
It was the earphones that was
I
just
know.
needed.
That's all we needed.
All needed. So I was just doing a little bit of an introduction, just explaining that play is a very important way for children to learn about their bodies, their environment, and just their place in the world around them. That it helps with their development and healthy development of the brain.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Different and develop essential skills. And I just said also about the stages of play, but
Yeah.
I said that first of all, that we've published an article earlier this month from YouThrive. Now, YouThrive itself as an organisation is a very interesting and unique organisation, would that be right to say, because it's a unique service with three different types of services under one umbrella. Would you say the same?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's what makes us really special is that we get to work with other therapists as well that aren't just in our disciplines. We get to work really closely with the speech pathologists and psychologists, which is, yeah, really wonderful.
And for someone that maybe hasn't actually read the article to begin with, the
Yeah.
beautiful article that you maybe give us a little bit of an introduction into the article and what it's about.
Yeah, absolutely. So the article just chats a little bit about the stages that a child will typically go through when developing those play skills. And it also talks about, I guess, different ways to teach your child to play if they are having difficulties with that particular skill. Yeah.
There you go. Well, first and foremost, a lot of people may not even know, they may have heard of what an occupational therapist is. And I'll
Yep.
put my hand up and say myself, I actually don't even know what an occupational therapist does. So can you maybe give us a little bit of an introduction into your skill and your art?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as an occupational therapist, I work with children to develop their independence in their daily occupations. So, for kids, their occupations would be mainly around their self-care skills, their play skills, and their school skills. So,
The
through
school.
that, I would school skills, yes. So through that, I would look more specifically at their fine motor skills, so looking at how they complete handwriting, typing, drawing tasks, how they use cutlery, how they complete fastenings on clothing. I also then look at their gross motor skills, so their tummy strength, their balance, their motor planning, hand-eye coordination. I also look at their sensory processing, their visual perception, their attention and concentration, and emotion regulation, and as well as their play and their social skills.
So I'm going to play devil's advocate for a second, but if a parent can see that their child is developing fairly normally,
Yeah.
why would a parent need to consider taking their child to see an occupational therapist?
So a lot of what I see at the moment is kids that might not be developing typically. So it's kids that might have a bit of trouble with their play skills, with their fine motor, gross motor skills. But I also do see kids that might just have an unusual pencil grasp or something that's making it really tricky to complete those handwriting tasks and keep up at school. So I do definitely see kids that are developing typically, but my main kind of job is, kids that might not be developing typically.
And how about also that, let's say a parent knows maybe if their child isn't developing the way that they should, but they're a little bit hesitant to take their child to see an occupational therapist. How would you, and what would you say to a parent that is maybe a little bit hesitant and thinking, should I, the thing?
Yeah, I guess I would just say that a lot of what I do is just have a conversation. I really see what areas your child might be having difficulties with, and if there is anything that I can help, I think it's always best if you do have those concerns to have them investigated just to make sure early intervention is key. So if you are having those concerns, and definitely make an appointment, or even just give clinics a call and just see what an OT or what a speech therapist or what a psychologist can actually offer your child as well. Sometimes it is that we don't know what we do, and that's okay. So it's just about asking those questions, I guess.
There you go. Well, we've got 3 questions to ask you tonight. Should we maybe get stuck into them?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, the first question that we have is, why is play important for children's development? I'm all ears. Tell me about it.
So play is extremely important to a child's development because it's where they actually get to learn a number of those really important foundational skills that they will use going through their life and things like that. So it's a lot of the skills that are developed early on would include things like their problem-solving abilities, that executive functioning. We look at developing their fine and gross motor skills through play, their receptive and expressive language, so being able to understand what's being said to them and make requests and have conversations with others. Like lots of really important things happen during that play, and it's something that's so simple that we can all kind of get engaged in.
And the ages of the children that you see as well, what is like, is it from what age do you see them? What age do you see them up to as well?
Yes. So at our clinic, we offer 0 to 18. I do have a lot of younger kids under that age of 7, and quite a few that I am working on these play skills with as well.
There you go. Fantastic. Yeah. The next question we have, should we go to the next question maybe?
Yeah, absolutely.
What are the different stages of play that a child goes through?
Yeah, absolutely. With this, I will say too that like anything, there is a range. So if you're watching this and you're feeling like your child might not quite be there, keep an eye on it. And if you're noticing that those concerns still present in a few months' time, that might be when it would be best to seek help. So I guess the first kind of stage that we will see babies go through is that exploratory play. So that's typically from about birth to 2 years. And what that is it's exactly as it sounds. So it's a child exploring their environment through play, and that might look like a child mouthing objects or banging blocks together, for example. From there, the child will then move to that solitary play, and that's where they start to become a lot more engaged in what they're actually playing with. So they might actually start, building a tower with the blocks or something like that. From there, they then go to that parallel play. So that's roughly around that 2.5 to 3.5 year age. And that's what that typically looks like, I guess, is lots of kids playing with the same activity, so playing with blocks, but they're not necessarily engaged with one another when they are doing that. And that's kind of the next step from there. So the next step is that associative play. So that's from 3.5 to 4 years. And this is when children really start to learn about those relationships and interacting with others. So this is when they might start to share those play materials and start talking with one another in that play. And then from there, at that 4+ years, we look at that cooperative play, and that's where children actually start to turn, take and share and work together to achieve that kind of common goal in play.
So when you're typically seeing patients, and do you call them patients, or what phrase do you use?
Yes, so I call them clients, but patients, clients, it's,
Yep. So it's clients. When you're seeing clients then, and understanding, as mentioned, and as the article actually states, you can actually see them from almost from 1 year or even before.
Yeah.
This is something that would do ongoing as well. But how many times a week would you typically see, I guess, a client? From that perspective, how many would they have?
Yeah. So I guess for the kids, I normally see my kids that I see about once a week or once a fortnight, depending. And I think a lot of what we do is the homework at home. I think that makes the biggest difference.
What was that?
If they're Sorry, the homework at home, I think, makes the biggest
Oh,
difference. So yeah, actually, when they come in for a session, we'll do a few activities and things like that. And then as long as the family's following that through at home, the children will have, huge success with that.
so what's something typically that you would get them like to do homework at home?
Yeah.
What are typically exercises you would get them to do?
Yeah, so I guess for play, if we had a little one that was having a bit of trouble, turn taking and sharing with their siblings and things like that, the homework might be as simple as everyone sitting down and playing a game together and working on teaching those skills.
So, in your experience, what have you sort of been faced, obviously with complete disclosure, but
Yep.
like it's been sort of big turnaround in behaviours over time and that sort of stuff as well? Like, can you maybe share an example of maybe a child that's needed a lot of assistance and that's then and how it's maybe helped them maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. So I did actually have a little one that I was seeing for play, and he really wasn't engaged. He was 4, and he just didn't really spend a lot of time playing and engaging, and his parents were kind of a bit unsure why this was happening. So he came to me, and we started kind of at the play stage that he was at. So he was very much in that solitary play, but also wasn't really playing with toys how they should be necessarily played with. So we just worked on kind of starting there. Oh, what was
Which is
that?
how though. So which is how you're saying that he wasn't really playing with toys as they should be played with. Like, how is that?
Yeah, so for example, a child at his age would be maybe stacking blocks and building a tower and driving cars around the tower or things like that. And he was more just, wanting to knock them over or throw items. And he was more focused on other things like how things work. So he was really interested in electrical cords, as an example, rather than toys.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so we kind of just really worked on where he was at. We worked on new ways of introducing different play activities that he was interested in. And then from there and from lots of practice at home, he was eventually able to then engage in other play with other people. He started to become a bit more interested in others in that play with him. So we were starting to go up those kind of play stages. And then when the time I discharged, he was able to play independently and play with others, which was really exciting, and it was a huge achievement for the family and for him.
Actually, and you must have a satisfaction yourself knowing you've really made a difference to that child's life as well. So congratulations on that. No,
Thank
if
you.
a parent is unsure of if they should be taking their child to see an occupational therapist, how would they know at what point it is right? In the sense, if their child actually does, sorry, my phone's moving, but like from that perspective, yeah. I mean, do all children need to see an occupational therapist? Do you think, or is it something that only children that are struggling with and have some level of difficulty need to see a therapist? Do you think?
Yeah, so I think it really just depends on the child's needs and maybe the areas that they're having difficulties with. So I think it is just, again, having that conversation with the families, finding out kind of where that, child might be having some difficulties and how we can best support that. So it's not necessarily for everyone, but if you do have those concerns, though, it's always worth just raising it with someone and, maybe investigating. Yeah.
Question. In the article, you speak about independent play. What do you mean?
Yep.
I mean, that is it as simple as it sounds? If they can
Yeah.
play by themselves, and
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that's just being able to engage in an activity by themselves. So not having to rely on parents or someone else there to play with that particular item.
Yeah. And the other thing you speak about also is repetition of task and play. What's that?
Yeah, so particularly for the little ones that have difficulty with some of these skills, it's really important that you continue to display and demonstrate those skills with them. So it's pretty much working on that same sort of activity until they really get that success of achieving it, I guess. So the more that we complete an act, I guess the more likely we are to get the success of doing it well.
There you go. And another thing you speak about in the article is turn taking.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, so turn taking, it's a really important skill, not only in play, but in life and with sharing and things like that with others. So I guess turn taking, it's really important that children learn how to do that, because it is something that they're expected to do in play and in school. And even as, us as adults are expected to share and turn take with others. Yeah, and I guess the best kind of ways to teach that would be in games that involve turn taking. It would be really explicitly teaching, when someone has a turn, how to wait for your turn, those kind of skills, I guess, yeah.
And I mean, understanding that 90% of a child's brain development happens before age 4,
Yeah.
it's quite crucial, I guess, for all of these skills to be developed and learned before the age of 4. Would you say?
Yeah, so there's definitely some of those skills that I'll learn a bit after that 4 kind of age, but I would say lots of those foundational skills, so actually knowing how to play with a toy, how to open the toy, how to sit and attend and engage with a toy, and those kind of skills would definitely need to be, or you'd want them to sort of be developed before that 4 age, but they can absolutely be developed after as well.
Yeah. We've got our final question for is for parents wanting to engage their child in play, what are the most important things for a parent to remember?
Yes, so I've got 3 kind of key things for that. So the first one would be using your child's interests. Your child is going to be much more motivated to engage in play if it's something of interest to them. Number 2 would be quality over quantity. You don't need to spend hours and hours and hours on end playing. If you can, that's wonderful. But sometimes all it takes is that really beautiful interaction that you have with your child, where you're just really focused in on that play. You're really engaged with the play and with your child. And my last one is have fun. If your child sees that you're having fun, then they're much more likely to have fun and really enjoy that experience as well.
And as you mentioned before too, the homework, what was the phrase that you used before? Homework for the homework?
Did I? Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I was just trying to that phrase. It was a really good phrase, but understanding also that as much as parents are taking their child to see an occupational therapist, a lot of the stuff needs to be done at the home as well, as much as possible, and for it to be repetitious. Would you say as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like any skill, the more we practice, the better we get. So yeah, lots and lots of play is the best way to go.
Well, you've really given us some incredible information tonight, and I'm sure lots of food for thought for a lot of parents. Now, if parents have got any other questions after our chat tonight, whereabouts can they find you and YouThrive? How do they find you guys in? They can find us with Kitty website, because you guys write for us, which we're really excited. But otherwise, how else can they?
Yes, so if you just go into the YouThrive website, so www.youthrive.com.au, there's also on there the numbers for all of our clinics. So if a family wanted to call up, they're welcome to do that as well, and they can be put in touch with the right people. And I'm happy to take any more questions as well.
And the other types of therapists that you have at YouThrive would be what? So occupational therapist, and what were the other 2 again?
Yeah, occupational therapist, speech pathologists, and psychologists.
All under one roof.
All under one roof, exactly.
It's been a real thrill and honour to speak to you tonight, and thanks so much for your time, Emma, and hopefully we can do this again soon.
Yes, definitely. Thanks so much for having me, Rach. Really appreciate it.
All right, take care. Thanks, guys.
You too.
And any other questions, by all means, you can on the thread of this Facebook Live video. If not, you can contact YouThrive through the Kittypedia website. If you go to the advice page and scroll down, you'll see the YouThrive bloggers page there. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Take care. Have a fabulous day, and we'll be live again on Saturday. So take care. Thanks, guys.